There's no little beep noise. We're on. Yeah.
We're live?
Yeah.
Cool. We're not streaming this.
I know.
We're recording this. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to our ASMR video.
No, it's not ASMR.
Takes a piece of paper, just crumples it up. ASMR.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what ASMR stands for.
Neither do I. I just know what's related to it, so... Or the videos are, because there's literally a bunch of memes with them, with ASMR streamers and stuff.
Yeah, people that do, like, things that make you satisfied. Which is odd. Anyway, this is going to be different for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't do these ever.
I don't.
But I thought it'd be fun to, since I have my own channel where I do podcasts regularly, and you do a lot of gaming stuff. I thought it'd be nice to just get away from the games for a bit and just have a nice little chat. I sound like Bob Ross. Beat the devil out of him. The pink brush on the easel. Whap it, whap it, whap it. Whap this. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna record at the window real quick, actually.
We're gonna close the window.
That way we don't have really any background noise.
Close the window. Slap the wall. Anyway, so
We got the crew.
we got the crew going on.
Yeah, the Avengers Infinity War crew.
So if you can't guess what we're talking about Venom Day. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you heard anything about it? Any rumors of any kind?
Me, I've heard jokes and stuff, but that's as far as I've gone and into, because
You're
I'm
gonna
just
have
like,
to put a spoiler warning on the video.
of course, yes.
Because I know in depth of what the theories are of the movie. And
We'll record a short spoiler warning between us with no music or anything before. So just
we'll take care of it.
You guys will hear it.
You've already heard it by now.
Yeah.
But there'll be spoilers in this.
Plenty.
Because I've seen a lot of screenshots and pictures from Instagram of the set for Infinity War 2. And
is there a Thanos capture?
not that I've seen so far, but you never know. You might be lucky. Anyway, so from what I've gathered, this I told you about earlier. Ant-Man went into the quantum realm at the end of his film and got stuck. He can't leave. So he, for some reason, this is all theories coming out of me because I don't know the answer yet because no trailers have come out. Goes back in time to Avengers 1, the first movie with only most of the crew, not all of it, and meets up with younger Captain America, younger Iron Man, younger Hulk, etc., and convinces them that he's from the future to help him fight against Thanos, who's in the portal open above the city. So they will probably go up into there, going after him. Meanwhile, the future versions of them will try to fight against the current Thanos, the unsnapped Thanos, or the one that's already snapped, the one that won already. They've already showed that there's going to be a new Spider-Man movie, so we know that Spider-Man's going to make it, because it takes place after the events of Infinity War, because the timeline would be really messed up if they did Infinity War 2 and bring Spider-Man back and then did a movie about Spider-Man without Spider-Man in it.
So we can confirm one thing, that everybody does get brought back.
Not everyone. We're 90% sure that Gamora won't come back.
Well, of course, but she died in a different way than that.
And then we're not also pretty sure that Loki's dead too, but we never can confirm that because he's died like 4 times already.
Yeah, and then I'm going to say probably if you looked in the movie, there's a part where he basically fizzles out of existence for a second. So I think that's him escaping from Thanos' grasp, becoming invisible and disappearing. going away, pretty much. I think that's what happened there.
I think that Thanos would probably have known that, but I think Loki. He also knows that Loki wouldn't try anything after almost dying, so he wouldn't be worried about Loki's existence anymore.
I think, yeah, and also after, he would still be doing it because he wanted to scare Thor.
Yeah. You know what's interesting to think
He
about?
wanted to scare everyone, yeah.
What I think is odd is that the choice of who disappeared with the snap was interesting. You know, they got rid of a lot of the only one movie people. Black Panther, Spider-Man. I think they got rid of War Machine. Groot, Drax, Star-Lord. Just a lot of people just gone. And they only had one or two movies, so we don't know them as well, but we definitely know enough to feel things. But it's interesting that they didn't do Captain America, they didn't do Iron Man, Thor. They were all fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you guys can hear me shifting around, that's probably why I'm going to change how loud I am a few times, but that doesn't matter really.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much.
Just back's being a little painful right now, so.
Yeah, I understand. Tall people problems.
Yeah. But, so I want to kind of pitch in here and say, I think they definitely went for an emotional value.
Oh,
Because the thing is, a lot of the times, less films, people talk about it more because they're like, oh, when's this next movie coming out, for this specific person or this character. So they're like, so people talk about it more,
Yeah.
So I think there's that factor, and that's why one of the reasons they may have gone for that,
I think the reason why they did what they did is because, the typical formula is good guys fight bad guys lose, good guys win, movie over. But this is the first movie that MCU's come out with a bad guy wins and the good guys lose.
And they lose more than they thought.
Like, half the universe dies. And it's their fault. Because they couldn't stop him. So it's like, that's a lot at stake all at once. And that's ballsy for them to do like that. But we have a lot of screenshots on Instagram of Ant-Man in Manhattan during the first movie's fight, talking to Captain America and Iron Man in their old suits. Beardless Steve Rogers. And it's interesting. We're thinking that Hawkeye is going to become Ronin. In the comic books, Ronin is not the guy that Guardians fight against. He's an alter ego of Hawkeye after he loses, I think his wife who dies or is killed. He becomes Ronin, who's like basically the same thing as Hawkeye but less friendly. Think Robin and Nightwing kind of difference.
Oh, all
basically.
That again, there's basically only a few characters I do not know exist, and that would be one of them right there.
And
so
yeah.
I didn't know until you just told me right now. So
I
bet there's probably like 4 or 5 more that you could tell me right off the bat, and I know you would know this, but yeah, it's loud.
That hurt my fingers.
But yeah, so go on.
Scarlet Witch, if we do see her again, she'll probably be able to murder Thanos on her own. Because he killed Vision with his bare hands. Ripped his face off, basically. Dug his fingers into his forehead and ripped his crystal out of his skull. Which is weird because his body is made out of the same metal as... It's vibranium. If you remember, that's what all the vibranium that they stole was for Vision's body. So his body is made out of a mix of vibranium and humanoid-esque material. So it's vibranium, and he just rips it apart like it's nothing.
So, one of the strongest metals, is it the strongest, right?
As far as we know, yes. That is the strongest metal in the MCU, as far as we know. It's vibranium. And then there's adamantium next to that. Adamantium is slightly lower.
Yeah. So, I would probably guess that they're going to have something to definitely do with vibranium yet again, knowing now that because, that doesn't just go away. They're not going to make that not part, especially because they just had Black Panther and they showed Black Panther, in the end, they showed them opening up about this technology that they really truly have.
Yeah, the vibranium technology that they kept to themselves.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And
but
they wanted to try to bring more peace.
Here's the thing that's sad. This next movie, Avengers 4, is the last movie Chris Evans is contracted for, which means Captain America's not going to make it. Like, dead permanently, kind of, not make it. Because we saw in Avengers Ultron, for those of us that watched it, that Tony Stark had a premonition of the future, where all the Avengers were on this rock, where Thanos' throne was, by the way, and all of them were unconscious, and Steve was dead, and Iron Man was the only one that was able to do anything, because he was the only one conscious. Hulk was unconscious, all of them were just out. That is pinnacle to Avengers 4. Because that, if it makes sense to me, which I don't know if it does to you.
Yes, it does.
Iron Man foresees, by touching the scepter, that when they go back in time and they fight against Thanos, back then, he's going to be the only one that's not horribly injured or killed. And I am 90% sure that Steve is going to die. Because in the comic books, which I've watched a lot of videos about the comic books, Thanos kills Steve. Just backhands his shield to pieces and then kills him straight up. Because all the other Avengers are escaping or hurt to be on fighting. So he holds Thanos back so they can escape and he dies. So I am pretty sure that Captain America is not going to make it to this movie.
And I actually do remember that Vision, Captain America's shield, was broken in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's loud.
Yeah, that's getting loud.
I don't know why. I turned it down. It's just getting louder.
Maybe it's actually like super loud. In the middle kind of thing.
I guess. But, I just have a feeling that Cap isn't going to make it. Iron Man is. Spider-Man is. We know that Black Panther is. We know at least most of the Guardians are. Because they've gone on record saying that a couple of the Guardians won't be in the next Guardians movie. Well, the Guardian team won't be the same for the next Guardians. That might mean that somebody dies permanently of them, or that Gamora just never comes back.
Which would make sense, because we saw her die in a different way.
Yeah.
And I don't think, because it's a love interest thing, for Star-Lord. Honestly, it's always been the stupid. I always found like, sacrificing yourself to make the other person that you love live. Then you are just throwing them into a spiral of emotions that if you look at people,
probably destroy them.
Yeah, and that's what I hate. I absolutely hate that, reading or seeing that kind of thing. I only understood it in one thing. In very few ways, and that is like, they're destined to be, some important person, but somebody, a bad guy goes to win, basically, by killing them before they can become that,
But we do know that Captain Marvel's showing up before Avengers 4 comes out, because a trailer came up a couple of days ago about Captain Marvel, which I have not seen yet, but I'll watch at some point. So, what might happen is, since Captain Marvel's powers are kind of cosmic, she may be able to go back in time too, along with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And find the Guardians in space and bring them to help. But what would be a big cop-out that I really hope they don't do is that, I'm an idiot. I know what's going to happen now. It makes so much sense. Remember what happens in Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Who's Peter Quill's dad? In the movie?
Ego.
And Ego's powers are Titan level cosmic power, right? He's kind of like one of the first beings in the universe. Avengers 1 happens before the events of that movie, which means Star-Lord has his power still.
Oh.
So if he got brought in, knows about his powers, you see what I'm getting at?
Well then again, he wouldn't know in the first place if it happened before.
They're gonna do a Guardians 1 thing, you know that, right? With all of them, they're all gonna join hands, and one of them's gonna have the gauntlet on, and they're all gonna kill Thanos with it. They're gonna get him right back. They're gonna do it, I can tell. That's gonna be like the most heartwarming moment in the movie, where everyone's just holding hands or like hands on shoulders, and then the guy in the middle is just, and then Thanos is dead.
Yeah.
Which you can't really kill him per se. At least in the comic books you can't. Because in the comic books he's one of the first two people. Like he's the brother of... He's like either the grandson or the brother of Galactus. Who's like the... one of the first people in the universe. But it'll be interesting to see what they go with it. Because it's... They got a lot of stuff to fix. If they're going to fix it. Which they better fix a lot. Because keeping all those heroes dead, that's ballsy. And they can't do Spider-Man 2 with Tom Holland if, you know, he's dead. Because the movie takes place after the events of Infinity War. It has to. Because Spider-Man in the beginning of Civil War has only had his powers for a couple months. And he didn't have the right current suit. So it wouldn't make sense for him to fit in to a new movie fighting a new villain like that. Oh, they also think for the new Spider-Man movie that he's gonna fight Hydro Man, who's like a water person. I don't know. I know he's gonna be in Italy. I know that. Or Venice, Italy. It's a city in Italy. Anyway, neither here nor there. Doctor Strange has got a pair on him. If you think about it. Because in the movie, Infinity War, he knows the outcome of the fight he's in.
How many times over, you know?
There's only one instance of the millions of possibilities that it could go where they win. And he knows exactly how to do it. So that's the reason why he gave up the stone at all. The only way for them to win is if they lost.
Yeah, and that's how this is, you know, looping around. This is the way they see them winning.
Yeah.
How many people, you know, one question he should have asked is, you know, because he could ask so many questions right within that time frame before they actually fight him at that point, you know, because they're all on the same planet, they're just there at the point. I think what would have been a smarter idea on their part, you know, this is as if I was in that world and I could say, like, you should have done this, you know, to the person, as in talking person to person with the character themselves. I would have said, you should have asked, how many do we win and no one dies? That would have been my point. That would have been the point of what, you know, and that would have probably made everyone motivated to the point that we don't want to be the one to die. So, you know, none of us know who dies, but we're all motivated to the point, you know, we know someone's going to die, but we're willing to do this for the fight, you know. I think that would have been a big motivator to maybe push that one ending.
Yeah. But you know what's an interesting thought that didn't occur to me till now?
Yeah.
Steve Rogers is a hell of a lot stronger than he's leading on. He's not nearly as weak as he's shown to be. He's way stronger than he's shown.
Yeah.
And there's one scene that proves it. Thanos has 5 of the 6 stones, or 4 of the 5. 5 of the 6.
Yeah, because he has a time stone by that
And he
point.
goes to hit Captain America, and he catches the glove and holds it for a few seconds, and Thanos is looking at him like, what the hell? How is he doing that? Because he's almost god tier strength at that point already.
Yeah.
And that's without the glove. He has the glove, and it's like exponentially stronger, and he goes to hit, and he catches it and holds him there.
I mean, he's slowly going down, but still.
But he's stopped the glove at almost full strength. So how strong do you think Captain America is to stop a Titan with his bare hands? He didn't have his shield on him. He gave up his shield. He doesn't have that anymore. So he just caught the glove, bare hands, like, yeah, No. So he's way stronger than he's let on. But, you know, I also think it's going to be really awkward if they bring Groot back and then a little Groot grows from the stick of Stormbreaker, because it's a super Groot.
Yeah.
So a little Groot grows off of that. And then another Groot, so they have two Groots. That'd be a little funny.
Or if they don't bring him back, but he becomes Stormbreaker.
Well,
and he just kind of adopts the powers of
the only problem is that
have.
Groot can literally reform from a fraction of a twig into a full another being. So, if you have to atomize him in order for him not to regenerate anymore. He's like almost Deadpool, in a sense, minus the insanity and Baby Dick, that you got almost nothing left and you can grow back. It just takes a long time. So there could be another Groot. And since Groot technically isn't a person and is pure of heart, because he doesn't know the difference in good and bad, he's just doing what he thinks is the right thing to do, he could wield Stormbreaker. Would be a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just like thinking, because it's part of him, Groot is dead. He's gonna regenerate regardless because it's part of him. What if, Groot grows, maybe that becomes his arm, or that's the middle of his chest, and he has the ability to
use the powers of Stormbreaker. He can call in the weird Rainbow Gate thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that's called. Bifrost. I think it's called the Bifrost, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
It kind of sucks that Heimdall dies.
Yeah, he was just a cool character.
He was a cool character because he was a black guy with a giant sword that kicked ass.
Yeah.
But,
the one time we see a dragon as well, it's just like, that's like, when you can have a dragon and no one says anything, because I did not hear one person talk about that dragon.
Mm.
When you can have a dragon in there and no one talks about it, that's when you know everything else is so much better.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a dragon,
Yeah.
Yes, this is Par talking about this.
Yeah. What's an interesting thing? The entire movie of Thor Ragnarok was pointless. The entire film was pointless. Because the second the movie ended, Thanos came, killed everyone, and then left. Only Thor was left alive.
Yeah, and I don't think Thanos realized that if he just said that he wants to kill off half the people, and those people were from, Asgard. Those were Asgardians, not humans. Yeah. That he just killed off in a race instead of killing off half, like he said he would.
Yeah, he killed them all. All of them died.
Yeah, so it's like
he probably doesn't know. Well, he'd know of them, but I don't think he knew what happened to Asgard.
Yeah,
He's just following the Tesseract. Damn it, Loki. Here's another theory that's going around that's kind of interesting. Hulk in Infinity War isn't Hulk. Now hear me out. The first thing we see of Hulk in Infinity War, what happens to him? He gets his happy little green ass beat by Thanos relatively easily, right?
Yeah.
And he turns back into Bruce Banner and kind of gets cock-blocked for the time, right?
Yeah.
People are theorizing that Loki is Bruce Banner, and Bruce never left Sakaar. Like, they switched places.
Oh.
So Bruce never left. He's still there. Because there's promotional material already coming out for it, where we see Dr. Hulk clothed, stubble, longer hair, looks like a person, just taller and green. So we're going to see Dr. Hulk. That's, like, almost confirmed now. And
Yeah.
Dr. Hulk is more dangerous than just typical Hulk. Because Dr. Hulk can think with his brainy hole. And it's spooky. Because if you ever watched any of the comics or TV shows like I did, Hulk knows about gamma radiation. No, they wouldn't do that. No. Maybe. I'm thinking, what if, they can mess with time in this one? Because they're already messing with time. So, what if, in order to beat Thanos, they kind of went to all their beginnings and kicked his ass in all of their origins, all their time periods. So, like, you know what I mean? Kind of like a time jump battle You know, throw them into the quantum realm, beat the shit out of them there. Throw them into World War II and beat the shit out of them there. Throw them in front of the gamma bomb that made the Hulk and blow them up. And then so on. That would be fun to watch. Just the Avengers going through time throughout all the origins of all these heroes and beating the living hell out of them each and every time.
Yeah, I can imagine the movie. They're like, they get halfway through, they're so motivated, but one of them goes down, and it's actually maybe Steve.
Yeah, it'll probably be Steve.
And it's on his one, so they know, oh crap.
That's not good. They can't have two Steves. One
Yeah.
dead, one alive.
Yeah, because they go back to, if they go back through that, and then he dies on that one, because, he's reliving that. There's still PTSD. There's no doubt that he doesn't have that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I mean, there's no doubt that he has that, still.
Yeah, he's just forcing it down.
Yeah.
Which he's pretty ballsy for even trying to do that, but still.
So he goes there, it hits him, because he, mid-battle looks off and sees this all happening again. He sees him younger self going in, and fighting. And then he's just, stunned, and then, and that's him.
That'd be really stupid what would be really stupid is if they fucked with time where they'd have two of each. They go to the past, take the old Captain America and bring him with the new Captain America, and they bring in each and every person, so they have two of each hero, two Hulks, a Edward Norton young and very violent Hulk compared to Dr. Hulk. Yeah, yikes. Who I really hope they don't have: A-Bomb, Scar, Red Hulk.
Yeah.
I hope they never show up, because they'll all look bad and they'll all not be written in properly. Though there would be a good reason now to have Red Hulk show up. Half the universe is dead, and Thaddeus thinks he can help. Turns himself into a Hulk to try to fight everybody. Turns into Red Hulk. So I mean, there's a reason for him to do it, but I don't think they should. It'd be a dumb idea.
There's there's a lot of characters they could bring in. What is one of the comic book ways Thanos is killed?
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, Squirrel Girl kills him.
Yeah, by herself. She has the power of squirrel. She's not God. She's just a squirrel.
But she has power over squirrels that all had all the same powers as all of the heroes. Plus, they're smaller, quicker, and more agile than any of them because they're squirrels. And squirrels are pretty freaking fast. You ever tried to chase a squirrel? A human can't do that.
Yeah, that.
Oh, you get Usain Bolt. He'll probably catch it, but
again, that's the fastest person alive, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
Yeah, that would be a funny way, like you said. Maybe they're going through all these different times. One time they skip accidentally backwards, and they see Squirrel Girl do it.
It's like, whoa, hello.
Thanks. And they move on.
It's like, whoa. It's like, if you can do it, so can all of us.
And it's just like a motivator halfway through.
Yeah. Thanos isn't immortal.
Yeah.
Well, he is, but he can't die. It's just, it's hard.
Really hard.
He's fast and strong. So if they were able to, get him down, just rip him up. Get Black Panther in there, just gouge out his throat. He can't heal from that. If he has no head, he can't heal himself. Treat him like a mutant, just off with his head. Anyway, separate note from Infinity War. I found out that Hugh Jackman will be Wolverine again for Deadpool 3. If he's allowed to be in it, he'll be Wolverine again. How fun is that? That'd be awesome. I want to see that crossover, because everyone does. Where he's unconscious and just slaps him over and over again. Remember that game, the Deadpool game?
Yeah.
That's what you get for making me loving you. That's what you get for making me hate you. And he just goes back and forth for 15 minutes, just slapping the unconscious Wolverine. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I remember the game.
Ugh.
Jacksepticeye played in it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did that.
And he was giggling the whole time.
Oh yeah, because it's funny. Deadpool's hilarious.
I'm gonna pause real quick because my throat's starting to get dry.
Yeah, there's water right next to you.
It's not mine.
This is not mine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pause real quick. Sorry, guys. Hey, we're back. We're just gonna close it off here.
We're gonna end it now.
Yeah.
That was about it. Anyway.
No, I'm actually gonna take off my shirt too.
look forward to the next episode. We're going to talk about the cock block that is Valve.
For part 3's of games.
Yeah.
Alright then. Bye-bye, guys.
Boy.
Hey, guys, sorry. We're just gonna announce this right now.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Heavy spoilers. Heavy spoilers.
Like, you're going to want to...
Not tune in.
If you don't know anything about Marvel movies, or if you intend to at some point, I talk about a lot of stuff that may or may not happen in Avengers 4.
And
stuff that happened in Ant-Man and the Wasp, stuff that happened in all the other Marvel movies that I couldn't think of that were related to this film I talk about. So, if you haven't seen them, beware.
Uh-huh.
During the recording, are you crazy?
Yes, I'm crazy.
Anyway, on with the episode.